Hi, I'm Ashley with Jabora Realty team at Blair Realty Group.
And I'm Dustin Orlando with First Rate Inspections.
So what areas of the home does a home inspector evaluate?
In short, all of them. Typically, we're going to start, when we show up to the home, we start and we evaluate everything from the front curb to the front door, from the roof to the foundation and everything in between.
Okay.
That's the short answer. On the roof, we do a little bit more than flying a drone. If the roof is walkable, we walk it. We're looking for more than just, hey, there's some nail heads that need to be sealed. We look for formidability of the roof,
Okay.
the construction of the roof, how well it was put together, if it's stand the test of time. Oftentimes we inspect some 1950s, 1960s homes. You get on the roof, shouldn't be able to bounce on one side of the roof and see rafters on the other side of the roof moving. That's an area of some pretty significant concern. So those are areas that we look at more involved and detailed. Can't see that with a drone. You can't feel that with a drone. In today's industry, a lot more people are steering towards technology, so they're like, we're gonna fly drones on everything. I'm a firm believer in if I can put my feet on the roof safely, we're gonna walk the roof.
Right.
And then getting inside the attic, oftentimes an inspector will climb to the top of the ladder and say, nope, I can't walk over there safely. So they take a few photos and then they're out of the attic.
Okay.
We traverse every part of the attic that is accessible to us. Walk through every room, test every outlet, every window, faucet. So it covers a very wide variety of all of the aspects of the home.
Okay. Going to garages?
Yes.
Okay.
Attached and detached.
Okay. Septic systems?
We do. Our septic systems is an additional charge for the inspection, but we are trained the same way a not certified sanitarian would do a septic inspection.
Okay.
It's not a simple certificate that you snag off Internachi and say, hey, I'm a septic inspector. We remove all lids, we take sludge and scum measurements, we take weight of the water, we check it for its functionality, we do a hydro flow test on it. So we do a lot more than just a few pictures and say, yeah, look, it's operating fine. So it's pretty in detailed.
And traditional septic system versus aerobic system, are those tested very differently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Conventional systems, oftentimes we've got to dig. Over time, people have brought in dirt, raised their yards, raised beds. We've got to locate the system. We've got to dig up the lids and uncover the system and do the inspection. If the lid is what we would consider to be inaccessible, which is anything greater than 2 foot around, once you get to the 3 and 4 foot concrete lids, they are quite heavy. So it's a little bit heavier than what we like to try to make one of our inspectors lift by hand. We'll then call it out for being not up to today's standards. Septic companies to come out and put an access in it. But anything that's accessible and within reasonable to have the lids removed and serviced or inspected, we will do. We've had guys go out and dig 3 foot deep to access lids, and we go out and we get it done.
What about propane tanks?
Propane, there's not a whole lot to inspect there. We'll check the data plates, check them for expiration of the build of the unit, check them for their manufacturer dates, look for any heavy rust, heavy pitting, make sure the lines coming off of them are well put together, they're well made up, the appropriate connections are made with the appropriate fittings. Oftentimes you'll find in the more rural areas, propane tanks are buried. It's a big no-no.
Thank you for saying that because, sorry, now I'm making this really long-winded, but ours is not buried. My sister's is buried. Apparently they bury them a lot in Chapel Hill, Brenham. And she was asking me why ours isn't buried. And I was like, we asked them about burying it. They don't bury here. And that was like, wow, y'all are weird because you don't bury.
There's a long-standing back and forth opinion on whether they should or should not be buried. Different jurisdictions have different ideologies about if they should or should not or can or cannot be buried. If you went and talked to the county inspector for Harris County versus the county inspector for Waller County, you're going to get 2 different answers.
Right.
So it really goes area by area, how they view it, what they see it as. Typically, metals in contact with moist dirt don't last as long. They're going to deteriorate much quicker. So if they are buried, there needs to be certain protective values put around the tank so that they last as long as they're supposed to.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't understand why. I mean, aesthetically, I understand. We want it buried for aesthetic reasons, but that's it. But yeah, we found out that's not even something the propane company wants to do. So.